What kind of match?
I know, we look nice. Tap me.
I do not believe it. I guess I just had stuff. Shoot me a text or something. Something's going on.
You don't have to hold your breath, Jess. It's all good.
You just, I don't know. Am I supposed to be quiet?
No, you're doing good.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you do have to be quiet for a second.
Okay.
We're about to turn on a light.
Okay, I'm going to hit it.
Thank you, God. And hello, everybody. It is the Network Marketing Leadership Show, and it is Tom Chenault and Adrienne Chenault. And we have got a great show today. And I wanted to do it by myself. And Adrienne goes, no, you can't do it by yourself. You'll screw it up. So then I go, well, what should I do? He goes, where's Denise? And I go, well, why? He goes, because she should be on here with Jessica. And I go, well, she's got some, she'll be here in a minute. But anyway, I am not trusted with Jessica Higdon. What's that all about?
You're just sure to say something rotten.
Really? Well, here we go. We're going to take it away and we're going to give it a shot right now. We have got the great Jessica Higdon, the brains, the everything behind Ray. I mean, ahead of Ray, wherever it is, I am telling you, we've now been around, and this woman is a flat out stick. And I love her. She's a mom. She is for moms. She was really successful in her own right. And, you know, she married Ray out of pity. They were dead broke. And they turned that baby around because of her. Okay, so let's just look at the facts. Here's Ray, dead broke, meets Jess, now rich. Book. Yeah. All right. Hello, Jessica Higdon. How are you?
Oh my gosh, you cracked me up. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be on your show with legends like you two. And I do hope that one day me and my daughter can work together and son can work together like you guys do. It's just awesome.
Well, it is really so amazing and such a gift from God. I'll never forget when he graduated from college and I looked him in the eye and I said, Adrienne, wouldn't it be great if you would join me in business? And he looked at me and said, yeah, Dad, so I can be on conference calls during dinner for the rest of my life. I about had a heart attack because that was his optic. He didn't see all the time freedom and all the financial freedom and all that stuff. He just saw his dad on the phone a lot. And I learned a lot from that. And it's a rare time that I'm on a telephone in a dinner. I'll take that back. It's not that rare. But at the end of the day, I've gotten better, haven't I?
You have gotten better, and I got some perspective.
Yeah. So then he went out in the big wide world, and that was really a grind. And he found out he was leaving his kids to go to a job that was hard. He just said, you know, if I have to do that, I might as well do it from home and do it with my dad. And he came all the way home from Zurich, Switzerland, and here we are. And he is just exactly like the brave women of network marketing that are taking their destiny in their own hands versus watching their husbands drown out there in some job they hate. They're saying, I can do this. And you have been unbelievable. Michelle Eldridge, I just think about the single moms that you've impacted, the moms that are not single, but are either they want to make a little extra money or they want their own identity. Or they realize they're great and there's no platform for it except for this. So they can be a great mom and a great wife and also a huge leader. And you're the forefront of that, young lady. You are carrying the ball and I am proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, there's so many more women and moms that have so many more kids and less time than I do, but I just appreciate that. And you guys are just amazing. Everything you do is awesome. So everybody listening, make sure you keep listening because these guys are the real deal.
So talk to me about what made you do this profession? I mean, at the very beginning, before you met that ugly bag of bones, Ray, how did you how'd you end up in this profession and realize you were good at it? What happened there?
Well, I wasn't good at it in the beginning at all. And it was kind of a shock to me because I was good at a lot of things, like in school. You know, I was good at my homework. I was good at sports. I was good at you know, my job. And then when I came into network marketing, I wasn't good at all. But what really what really made me want to do network marketing was at the time, I was very young. I was 21 years old, and I was working full-time at a makeup counter. I was also full-time getting my marketing degree and part-time trying to start like a makeup wedding business. So 90 to 100 hours a week of my time was already committed to other things. And it was craziness. And I realized that I was still dead broke. And every interview that I went on, had promise, but it was pretty much, hey, you're going to start at the lowest of the low, minimum wage, and you might be able to get a raise within 10 years. And I kept hearing this over and over again and just realized that I was putting in all this time and I had nothing to show for it. So when I found network marketing, I was so young and naive. I just looked at the model. I didn't know that there was a stigma towards it. I didn't know that some people thought that it wasn't a legitimate business and all the crazy, ignorant things that you hear. I just looked at the model. I said, wow, this makes so much sense, and just jumped in with both feet. And like I said, wasn't very good at it in the beginning, but I learned. I learned over time. For 6 months, I didn't sign up a single person. And then I found social media, and I started utilizing that, started talking to people, found my footing, found my ground, found a system that worked for me, and it worked very, very well.
Wow, that's really cool. And I liked what you said about sort of being young and you know, I just didn't know about network marketing. I didn't know there was a stigma, and you know, this model just made sense. And I wonder, I'd love your perspective on this, because I'm seeing that more and more often. It's, you know, you talk to 20 somethings and they don't know about stigmas from 20, 30 years ago. Like, to them, it's like, this makes a ton of sense to me. This is a way to have leverage. This is a way to create the life that I want. Do you see that as you're talking to young entrepreneurs and training this next generation of network marketers, that there's a shift happening in that way?
I do. I think that they are just looking at the simple model like I did. And 20, 30 years ago, which people still do it today, right? But I think 20, 30 years ago, you could get away with saying a lot more things that you're not supposed to say, or certain people would overpromise again and again and again. And now with social media and all the trainers out there, you can train how to do that properly without overpromising and under-delivering. And so the model is just the model. It works. It works very well. What happens is people tend to taint the model by saying the wrong thing or things that make absolutely no sense. And so these younger entrepreneurs are completely open to it, because I think they're just hearing the right message through and through because of shows like yours, because of all the proof on social media and all the different platforms that people can say, hey, look, this works. You have to do the work, but this works for you if you're willing to put in the effort. So yeah, I definitely see that shift happening in a big way.
So you went out there and you came from nowhere. You didn't sign up enroll anybody for 6 months. All of a sudden you figured out your groove and you built a business, correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
You were the top earner in your company?
Top female. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then Ray came into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a big earner too.
Yes.
And
yep. He was the top overall income earner. So he likes to say that he had, I had all of my money and half of his. So I was really the top income earner.
Yeah. But so there was a big pile of money there, and you guys were going great guns in network marketing. Then you took a stupid pill and quit all that and became generic trainers. Is that true?
It is true.
It's harder. I mean, did you think it was going to be as hard? It's hard work.
It is hard work. So it was one of the hardest decisions that we ever made.
But why did you do it?
So there was a lot of people out there, our training company took off, and it was growing and growing and growing and growing. And with that, we were very grateful, but with that came a lot of time and commitment that we didn't expect. And so what was happening was it was taking away from time with our team and taking away from that growth time that we really needed to to nurture that business.
Yeah.
And so also what was happening, just to be completely transparent, is people were saying, oh, look, they're in a company. The only reason that they're training our people is to steal people away from, my team or my company, which wasn't what was happening, but people that didn't know us assume that sometimes. And so we had to look at, okay, where are we really meant to focus? What's our passion and what's our big goal on this earth? And that was being trainers and really edifying the profession as a whole. And so we walked away from that business, which for me, that was like my baby.
Yeah.
I mean, I got my joy out of the training and the recruiting, and that was my baby. So that was a very hard decision, but it was the best decision for us. And it's been great. But I will say that the difference between building a network marketing team and partnering with an amazing company versus building your own company is night and day. I mean, it is
so
labor intensive. You have to, you have employees and contractors and tons of investments that you don't anticipate, logistics. It's a lot. We love it, but it is a very different ballgame for sure.
And then you realize like you're all alone. What did we do? I can't even fathom it. And what you've done is incredible in a short amount of time. And all you're doing is getting bigger and better and bigger and better. And I love the fact, and we're going to talk about rank makers and all that on the other side of this. And I also want to talk a whole lot more about women, because these women watching this show are completely mesmerized by you. I mean, the comments are coming in because you're such a rock star. You're so approachable. You're so genuine. I saw you on a stage 8 3/4 months pregnant. Unbelievable. I thought this woman's going into labor any second, and it is not going to be fun for Ray. But you are that way because you care so much about those. And it isn't about money for you guys. It is completely making a difference and showing people what's possible out there. Aww. And what's the best, where do you want people to go to find you, Jessica, right now?
Yeah, I mean, you can really, I'm big on Instagram, so you could go to my Instagram. It's at Jessica Higdon 99, or my Facebook. It's just Jessica Higdon page. Either
Good
one.
Deal. Got a little Heather Love last week that was on the show, and she got thrown in the clink for 3 years in Colombia. Left the beach, went down there on vacation, got thrown in jail for 3 years, had to come spend the time there and then come back with her kids. She's all over the Facebook page right now, just talking about how awesome and inspiring you are, because that's what you're doing to the world. And the responsibility that you've taken on to do that at your expense. There is no company bankrolling you, no nothing. You and Ray just stuck your chins out and said, let's go for this. And my hat is so off to you. Partnering with him with this contact mapping has been the same kind of conversation, jumping off the dock because we know it has to be done. And I love Jessica and even Ray Higdon for doing that. This is the Genesis Communication Network. Thanks, Ted Anderson, for putting us on all these years. We're going to come back right after this. Stick around. And we're back, Paco.
All right.
I get to look at my phone. You get to look at your phone, and he gets to talk about contact.
You guys are so amazing. I just love this. You.
Yeah, we're having fun. So this is the radio commercials, and so we can give shout outs to people who are watching. I love your Rank Makers mug. We've got Rank Makers coffee mug. We've got Contact Mapping coffee mug.
There you go.
Mine says, I am a recovering alcoholic and network marketer. Would you still like to have a cup of coffee with me? So I am like, I don't get invited anywhere.
How do I get that mug?
That's so exciting. Yeah, so that's so fun.
Oh man. So Contact Mapping is the sponsor of the show, and so we do our little plugs during the commercials. And Jessica, I love the way that you guys train and especially what you guys do on Thursdays around follow-up. So talk a little bit about why follow-up is so important to you.
Yeah, and we absolutely love your app. We love Contact Mapping. It's an amazing tool that we promote and that we have used. I mean, follow-up is everything. So if you look at, like we were talking about network marketing 20, 30 years ago, where people they had 2 leads a week and their calendar was crazy. They had one person a day they were talking to because they followed up with them and they built huge businesses off of that. Now people want 100 leads a week or something crazy, because social media came out. But if you only have a small amount of people to talk to, the fortune is in the follow-up, as they say. I mean, if you are properly following up with those people, even if it's just 5 people a week, 10 people a week, you will build a humongous business. The problem is people want 100, 200 people a week. They don't follow up, and then they get lost in the shuffle and they wonder, why am I not building? Why am I not duplicating? So I love, love, love what you guys do. And follow-up is so key in anything, not just network marketing, in any business.
That's so true. And I think that's a great distinction, right? I think we're actually victims of what an incredible gold mine social media is, where we get into this mindset of, well, there's always just that next person just around the corner that I can go prospect that person. And it's like, we just want people to like join our business or buy from us the first conversation. And that's not the way that the world, you are playing it so small in terms of your addressable market if you play like that, and you're just running on this hamster wheel a million miles an hour. And you'd be way better off having a much more focused approach where you're taking the time to just make sure you follow up with people and you stay in front of them.
If they join you with a click, they're going to leave you with a click.
Yep.
And it's that simple. You've got to develop a relationship. And it's just like fake news on all the networks and everything else, man. That's what you're seeing. And until people realize they can trust you, that you love them, and that they belong, they're not going to partner with you. It might be transactional, but transactional is old school. Relational is new school.
Love it.
Awesome. So we would love to have you come and check out Contact Mapping, the app, for 30 days for free. And so if you want to do that, just go to contactmapping.com. You can take it for a test drive. We work with tons of rank makers in Jessica and Ray's community. It's awesome, and it works really, really well for any network marketer or beyond.
All right. Okay, we got to take, now we're going to be quiet for 5 seconds. And we're back. It's Tom Chenault on the Network Marketing Leadership Show with little Adrian and Jessica Higdon. And we are having a heck of a show. I think we've got Kim Kiyosaki next week. And what we're trying to do is just powerful women everywhere, because as we went with like Heather Love, and we've gone with Jessie Lee Ward, and we've gone with Lisa Grossman, and I go through the list, and I started posting the powerful women, and I was doing that as before, like 20 minutes ago. And I'd gone through like 40 of them, and I realized that I was leaving people off my list, and I was so embarrassed. But I had no idea how this profession is so driven by great women. It's shocking. We got to get some women on this show.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Fantastic. All right, take it away. So what do you want to ask Jessica now?
So Jessica, I mean, I think you are embodying this in what you're doing now, and especially having just had a baby recently and kind of figuring out what's that balance look like. And so, what do you think as far as moms who are in the middle of raising families who have these responsibilities? Why is network marketing such a powerful model for that mom?
Well, plain and simple, you can be home. I mean, it sounds cliche, but especially with social media now, there is really no excuse for anybody, even a busy mom that, and I've talked to moms, I've interviewed moms that have 7 kids, some with disabilities and foster children on top of it, that are the top earners in their company and making this work. And it's because they have the ability to do everything from home. And when their kids are asleep, they can jump on social media and prospect. Before they wake up in the morning, they can do their follow-ups. So it becomes very, very simple. And the other thing is, like we talked about earlier on the show, how simple network marketing is because you get to partner with another company. You don't get that if you invent your own product or you build your own business from home. That's fantastic, but there's so many other moving pieces and moving parts to it. With network marketing, I won't say it's an easy business, but it's a very simple business. And that for a parent is a 1-2 punch. You can have simple, you can have it from home. You just do the same thing pretty much over and over again. And if you don't quit and you have the drive and you learn and test and track as you go, then you're guaranteed success pretty much. So with all that combination, it's pretty much a no-brainer. I hate that word because it's used so much, but it really is a no-brainer for especially someone who's never built a business before, really doesn't have an entrepreneurial background. It's such an easy transition for them to start making some extra money, even if it's just to save on daycare and have the kids home a couple extra days a week or whatever that is.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And, looking at the sort of the history and some of the stages and things like that, I think it has been to some degree overly dominated by men on the stage, and yet women, when you look at the numbers of who's participating, but also when you look at people who are creating great businesses, who are rising through the ranks, I think women are way underrepresented. What can we do to put the spotlight on all these great women in a bigger way in the profession?
It's so true. I do believe women are underrepresented. At the same time, I think there's a lot of women that don't necessarily want that spotlight. There's a whole demographic of women that make a ton of money and are just happy kind of sitting in the sidelines and letting that team grow and grow and grow and letting those people shine. So I think there's a little bit of that going on too. For a lot of these companies, I don't think they're intentionally misrepresenting women. I think that women as a whole, we are like a community species. We want to be social. We want to be around people. And sometimes we don't necessarily want the spotlight. But what's happening is with social media, so many women are getting out there telling their stories that it's inspiring other women to do the same. And so I think more social media training is needed for sure within companies, within, like you guys are doing on the show. More of this is needed so women know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to put your feminine energy and yourself out there. And it's okay to let the world know, hey, I was just looking to do this part-time, or I was just looking to be that woman that sat on the sidelines and had my kids for an extra couple days a week, whatever that means to you. And the more women that share that story, I think the more they'll rise up and gain that confidence to really step on that stage and own that power. For me, and it might be a little different thought of other women, I think being a powerhouse is super important, but I also 100% get behind our feminine energy. And so I think if we let women know that it's okay to step on that stage and not be the person that riles the crowd up or gets them all excited and goes. I think more women would be interested in being on that stage, to be honest with you. Not that there's anything wrong with either personality, either way. They're both inspiring and amazing, and we need all different types of women on that stage. But I think more women that share their story coming from the heart saying, hey, I'm shy, or I didn't think I could do this, and just having that feminine energy will bring a lot of light to the profession, a lot of light to women, and make it okay for them to kind of step out of their comfort zone. It's just my take.
Holy mackerel. What, do you have a clock or something? Are you watching the clock?
No.
You're hitting these breaks like it's going out of style. We're going to take a little break right now. We're going to come back right after this. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault. And thank you very much. We'll be right back.
That really was. That was a perfectly
encapsulated answer. I thought you were just walking into that break. Armand is in love with you. That Armand Payotti, he's just unbelievable.
That's so funny. I had no idea. Well, just cut me off if you're like, hey.
Oh, no, you were right on the money. I thought you had a clock because you just took us in for a perfect landing. Marianne, why were you waving so much? So Marianne's in a control tower behind through a window, but we can't see her face. We can just see her hands. So she thinks that I can understand.
I was so excited. I was so excited.
Oh, you were just
waving? Yes, I was just like.
That was so bizarre because I'm going, what?
Cheering you on.
Looking at the clock and I nudged Adrian going, what is she doing? I thought I cussed her. I was chauvinist or something. I thought I'd done something inappropriate. All right. So this is beautiful stuff. Hang on a second. Armand, I saw you. You're beautiful. Cadillac, love you. Shay, you are the most amazing kid in the world. The only guy that ever called me in the bathtub that didn't want to. Joe Streetinger, unbelievable guy. Incredible. We love him. All right. What about a contact member, man?
So one of the things that I think a lot about, I love being in Rank Makers as a participant. I love watching the videos. I've been on your 14-day challenges. And one of the things that I think is remarkable is it really is, you guys inspire and develop consistency in your tribe in a way that I think is remarkable, and I think is maybe the most distinctive thing that I've observed about what Rank Makers does in terms of action for its members compared to some of the other communities that I've seen. And so why is that that consistency is so important, and how does consistency tie into making sure you follow up with your new relationships?
So I'm sure people have heard it over and over and over again, but consistency is king. I mean, if you're not consistent, then you might as well kiss your goals goodbye. You can't build a business showing up on Tuesday and then not showing up for 3 weeks and showing up the Tuesday 3 weeks from then. It doesn't happen that way. You don't have to put in 16 hours a day. Sometimes you do, but for the most part you don't. You just have to put in that small consistent action every single day to the point where maybe you can put a little bit more effort in. And so the way you do that is by keeping your calendar full. You keep it full to the point where you have those follow-ups to kind of all train you to start doing those consistent actions. So it's a great way to segue into your daily activities. As in, if you know that somebody's expecting your call, you'll show up for that person. Or if you know somebody's expecting you to text them, message them, you'll show up for that person, sometimes more than you'll show up for yourself and for your own goals. So keeping that follow-up, like you can with contact mapping, keeping that follow-up consistent, keeping that scheduled and organized so okay, tomorrow I've got these 5 people to reach out to, will keep you in the groove with your business, in the momentum. And as we know, that is so, so key. If you just start doing one thing, all of a sudden it catapults into more things, and you've signed up someone that day, and then you can go on to the next day with more confidence. So it's everything. Consistency is everything in every way that you do your business.
That's so huge. And not only that consistency piece, I love what you talked about creating expectation, not for yourself, but actually putting expectation out there where somebody's expecting your phone call, somebody's expecting you to follow up with them and send them that message today, because that gives you that sense of, even if I don't feel like it, like my pride or my commitment or my sensibilities, that's going to have me show up even on those moments where I don't necessarily feel like it. And that's so important. And so contact mapping, one of the things that we really built into it as an important tenet of that is that every day you wake up and you've got this list of here are my touch points that I'm going to have today to keep my business moving forward. So I'm moving those conversations forward. Then I'm going out there and I'm setting my goals for how many people I'm going to prospect that day to keep filling the top of that funnel. But knowing what I'm supposed to do starting at the beginning of every day, I think is really essential. And so that's the system that we've tried to create. And so go check it out. Go to contactmapping.com, grab a 30-day free trial, experience what it's like for yourself, and see what difference it makes in your business in helping you to have each day start with intention.
And I'll tell you how real it is. If I want to talk to Ray Higdon, if I want to talk to Eric Worre, if I want to talk to anybody, I just text Marianne Worre or I text Jessica, because I know I'm going to get responded to. And that's the truth, because you're so much better at all of that great stuff. And I love you for that. So we're coming back right after this. So the commercial's over. And we're back. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault and Adrienne Chenault and the great Jessica Higdon. And I'm just telling you, the powerful women. I just mentioned Marianne Worre. I think about the 7 women that Denise went to Africa with. You know, these women got in their airplanes, not their airplanes, an airplane, traveled for like 48 hours all the way to Tanzania, and just literally lived hard for a few days doing microloans for women where network marketing is even a stretch, where these people were raising 25 cents at a time to throw into a can, to buy a cow, to fatten it up, to go resell, to go buy another cow. And these women were literally, it was unbelievable. And kids going to school just to get the 1 meal a day. And this planet needs women in network marketing and needs people like Jessica Higdon, like Marianne Worre, events like your events like the most, what do you call it? The most powerful women in network marketing. That's a long sentence. You got to go to that stuff, you guys, because it is absolutely critical to grab your power. And you guys are teaching people to grab their power. And you said something profound about that. Women grabbing the stage to be obnoxious and loud and over the top is not, maybe that's stopping them. But when you fall in love with yourself and going through Rank Makers and understanding how to be your best you get to go up there and grab that stage as powerfully and as quietly as you want to, because the effectiveness of talking like that is something that men never get a clue to. I have no idea how to do that, but I don't, because you guys are so good. So do not play it small just because you don't like stages. Make that stage yours is what I think you were trying to say, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and just to speak to the Africa trip, it's unbelievable what this profession allows women to do. I mean, where else would you, there's no other profession where you would have a group of women that want to go on a mission trip like this and want to do that multiple times a year. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. And so as far as stages go, yeah, I mean, I think there's a time and a place for being super energetic and getting people ramped up and being aggressive and all that. I think that's amazing and awesome. And honestly, I admire that. But my biggest breakthrough personally, when I was speaking, was knowing that I didn't have to be that way to make an impact on other women out there and the individual. I could be myself and I could own that, and I could step on that stage and get my message and my point across, and people would still love it. They'd still have that inspiration, that motivation from my talk, and it would still fulfill me inside and owning that feminine energy. So I just think it's a portion of really everywhere that's kind of being overlooked is, hey, it's okay to be that way.
So I'm going to get myself in trouble right here, which is not unusual.
Yeah. Are you used to that?
Yeah, I'm on the board of directors of the ANMP. I was one of the founding members. I love the ANMP, and it's the same weekend as the Most Powerful Women. Mm-hmm. And for my money, if you're a woman, go to Vegas, go there. I mean, it is unbelievable for women. I've been there every year supporting my wife. I sit in the audience and I watch that magic show evolve. And seeing those women on that stage will bring tears to your eyes. So I'm telling you, if you're a woman, go to Vegas. And I'll take my lumps when I go to my board call next week. But that's just the way it is, because I'm telling you, it is important we just got to elevate. We have to elevate. So, and I noticed Ted Knighton announced you and Ray were going to keynote a company event, and I loved the announcement because it said Jessica in capital letters, small letters, and Ray keynoting, and that was beautiful because you swing a big stick, young lady, and I'm really happy to see you out there leading with your chin, and thank you.
Oh, well, yeah, we're really excited. And yeah, absolutely. We just got to support all the other women out there who are making it happen, because it is really unique for us to be in the positions that we're in. We have to handle kids. We have to handle the house. We sometimes have to handle the bills and the back end and the finances and everything and the business. And so it's really awesome to hear from a woman's perspective. Yeah. And to me, it strikes a different chord. So
yeah, that's 100%. Yeah. So do what I said, and I'll deny I said it. We'll just erase this thing. So there's no problem.
This is recorded. I don't know.
No one will ever tell anybody I'm dead. That's okay. I'm used to that. And I'm living with my decision, and I mean it. I mean, these events are about you. It's not about, that's what it's about. And whatever you can do to become a better you, and watching the powerful women that have come out of the stages of your place, and again, going to Most Powerful Women, it's what we need. And you guys just keep up the great work. And tell me why Rank Makers, you obviously stepped into a big lake. You made a big decision to design something called Rank Makers. What the heck is it? And I'm in it every day. I mean, every day I get up early in the morning and I watch Ray do his live. And then I steal his material for my conference call 20 minutes later. Every now and then I ask him, it's so good. I call him on the phone or I text him and I say, can I actually steal that? And he always says, go for it, bro. He calls me bro. But I think it's because he can't remember my name. But at the end
I don't think that.
At the end of the day, you guys are in people's living rooms in every day. And it's so important. What's Rank Makers all about?
Yeah, so Rank Makers is our private Facebook community where people can plug in and listen to my husband. Sometimes I pop in there, but mainly it's my husband, give a daily action step and a training every single day. We do recognition, we do prizes. And really what it's all about is getting people who don't have a daily action plan or they're not following their daily action plan to do something simple every day that advances their business. And the testimonials that have come from that are just insane. People who haven't recruited a single customer for years are now getting multiple customers a month. People who have been in network marketing for 30 plus years are now starting to finally reap the rewards and benefits just because they have that daily accountability. So if you like that idea, you can definitely check out Rank Makers. We love it. It's like me being able to have that team and Ray being able to have that team, and we can kind of beat them up for the leader where you as the leader maybe can't. So we can get in their face and tell them what they're not doing and be that hardcore trainer that sometimes the leader can't say or can't do. And so it's really effective. Last year we had over 96,000 customers added. So from that group, from those people recruiting. So it's pretty exciting and pretty cool. And we love it.
96,000. What I love about it is it's not scripted. I mean, half the time your little girl's just climbing right up his face, down his head, doing everything she can to distract him. It's the greatest. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so cool. And I can't speak highly enough about Rank Makers for any of you who are listening and watching that aren't a part of this thing. It really is. It's love. It's the best kind of tough love. And it's what you need to hear. And I just think we need that in our lives. And Jessica's right that it's, sometimes it's hard to hear that from an upline because, there's ego involved in, whatever it's, sometimes it's just like it's hard to take advice from your parents, for example.
Yeah,
exactly. It's favorite aunt, favorite uncle syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you need some other authority figure to tell you the exact same thing. And it's like they invented the idea and your parents are going, oh. But that's so powerful. And so I love what you guys are doing there. And the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about, I mean, I watch what you're doing. You have this amazing book deal that is coming out with Haymarket, which is amazing. You're doing the reality show. I mean, you guys are playing huge. What is that grander vision for I see you guys popping your profile up in a much, much bigger way over the last year or so. What's that about and what are you guys doing?
We went to a big event and it was just kind of a generic sales event and we were just curious and interested. And a trainer got up there who is very out there. He has millions and millions of followers and generic trainer just for every sales company, not just network marketing. And he mentioned different ways that you could make money. And he mentioned Airbnb. He mentioned, a few others. And network marketing wasn't on that list. And literally the thought in our mind was, if we don't grow our company outside of network marketing in a way, then we'll never be able to edify it outside of the profession.
Wow.
And so we thought network marketing should absolutely be on that list as one of the number one ways for somebody who doesn't have business experience or maybe does but wants to transition to grow a business from home. And it's just not talked about in that way on a bigger scale. And so that's really our vision is, we don't really know exactly what that looks like, but we're trying to get out there and grow to the point where we can say to the masses, everybody out there, hey, this is a very legitimate business. This is the way that we came from nothing to something. This is the way that my husband got out of foreclosure. This is the way I got out of, being broke all the time and be able to stay with my kids. And I just don't think that's happening a lot outside of the profession. Although, like we mentioned, it's happening more and more, but it needs to be done on a much bigger scale.
I agree. I'm so stupid. I just wish I would have thought to get Anu or get Babette to be in the backside of your house with a GoPro camera, watching Ray trying to get, heard those two kids. He's running around with your daughter. He's trying to breastfeed that poor baby Thomas. I mean, it would have been so exciting to be able to watch that poor guy put the diaper on upside down and all the stuff that he's going through right now, because we both know you do all three jobs. You're the mom, you're the wife, you're all of it. And he's back there and just a hot mess taking all the credit for it. And now in this 1 hour we had him and I didn't have a secret camera on it. That's why.
You know, you're right. And he's pretty good at it. I'll give him some credit. He's pretty good at it. But yeah, it is, sometimes it is comical. Like, I don't know how to put this pacifier in. Help me. He's not taking it. What's happening?
You know what I love is you two look so damn happy all the time. You just do. I mean, when people aren't looking is when I watch, and it is so gratifying for me to see that you interact as a couple, as a mom and dad, as people, you know, and you just got so many people tugging at you at these events, and never once do I see any kind of stress or any impatience. It's just awesome, your authenticity and your accessibility to the people. And what I loved, Ray came to town a few days ago, and we drove around. I invited him to my house, and he graciously—
And into your bathtub, I saw.
Yeah, we took a bath together. That was exciting. But at the end of the day, he thought we were driving for like 5 minutes, and it took like an hour to get there. And he about swallowed a cigar, maybe an hour and a half. And it was freezing cold, and he didn't have a coat, and I didn't have a heater in my car. So it was even worse. So it was tough stuff. We're going to take a little break. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault, Adrienne Chenault, Jess Higdon, on the Genesis Communication Network. Stick around. We did it.
We did it.
We're alive. We made it through another one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you see Marina on there? That
Marina's
was cool.
on here. Maria, my little love that drove all the way down here to hang out, is here. Ryan Enright just got back from this big event in Vegas. Crazy stuff going on here.
It is.
So take it away. What's going on, commercial man?
This commercial break brought to you by Contact Mapping.
There you go.
So Jess, one of the things that I see you guys doing inside of your events, inside of the Top Earners Club, you know, the different formats that you guys are creating, is you've really created this forum for people to share ideas and to share best practices. And it's, you know, I've seen how close knit of a community you guys have built. What do you think has been the biggest benefit that has come from that sort of mastermind kind of an idea that you guys have developed inside of the TEC especially?
Yeah. So there's nothing like being around people who are on your same level or maybe above, and learning from the mistakes that they've made, and you just get there quicker. So when you're around people who have been through what you've been through, or are going through things that you are going to go through guaranteed, and then you know how to deal with those obstacles, you will grow your business faster and it'll be more sustainable. And so Ray and I have always been big proponents of masterminds, coaching, getting around people, investing in your business, getting around people that know more than you do. And we do it for ourselves. We've always done it. We've done it from the beginning. And I can mark that from not only, a mastermind setting, but from the point when I started my business and wanting to invest in some courses or learning from some people that I needed to know more from. So I think, wherever you're at, that's where you have to take it to the next level. Don't try and leap to getting into a mastermind or doing something like that. But wherever you're at, you've got to take that next level and see, okay, where can I invest my time? Where can I invest my money to really grow and take that risk? And it most of the time will work out for you.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And I think, getting around like-minded people who are growth oriented, who are trying to better their lives, who are trying to do things, whether it's in a top level mastermind that's only for people that are earning over a certain level, whether it's being a member of Rank Makers, in Contact Mapping, we have a community group where we're doing a daily Facebook Live talking about, the principles behind why are we doing this? What are we doing? We're bringing together different people, not just for network marketing, but from all different disciplines. And so that's been fun to, similar to what you were talking about in kind of raising that profile, that it's that same thing, right? Like,
yeah,
we're able to see that there's so many overlaps and so many commonalities in doing business the right way and in a relationship focused manner is going to give you results. It's going to give you satisfaction, and it's going to give you, you're building something for the long term when you do it that way. And so that's a big part of what we're trying to do.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's very insightful.
I wasn't listening, so I was thinking about something else, and he looked at me like, "You're supposed to talk," but I swear I was in my own world.
All right, well, why don't you take us?
All right, we're gonna okay. Be quiet for 5 seconds. That was embarrassing. I am so sorry, Adrian. Contactmapping.com. And we're back. Final segment. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault, Adrian, and the great Jess Higdon. I was just told by Marianne Niehaus that Anthony Napolitano is next week. This kid's 12, making a ton of money, great kid. And then the following week is Kim Kiyosaki. So we're keeping it rolling, the content, the guests. You just can't believe who we got coming on. And I just put out the call to a bunch of women to come on the show, because I'm telling you what, I am missing it by not getting these people on here, and that's on me. So I want to talk a little bit about your coaching program, because one thing I've been allergic to forever is big trainers offloading their people coming into the rooms to coaches that aren't trained for money. So I called Ray on that in the car, and we had a chat about it. He said, "Thank you for bringing that up. I am most proud about the fact that we won't let somebody coach who hasn't gone through our system, graduated, and then they're graded on an almost daily basis based on performance and satisfaction from the person being coached, because we agree with you 100%, Tom." And I was thrilled to hear that. I don't even know if did I tell you that?
That's so incredibly cool.
Made my day. So I want you to talk about that, because literally all the time people are getting foisted outsourced, and it ends up being a rug pull. And you guys aren't doing that. You're making sure people are getting value for the coaching because they need it, correct?
Yes, and it'd be weird if I said no.
Yes. Well, I knew the answer to the question, and I said, "Yeah."
No, we don't care about those.
No, we don't give a shit. Yeah, true story.
Yeah. So, and I so appreciate you bringing that up and talking about our business. One thing about my husband that I'm sure anybody who ever tunes into anything he ever does, one thing he is not is lazy. That man will pour his heart into whatever we decide is going to help the most people. And that is his mission. Every quarterly meeting, he's always talking about impact. He's never talking about money. And people may say, "Oh yeah, sure." But it's true. That is how he is driven. And so he meets with our coaches every single week, and he has them send in recorded calls daily to make sure that they're coaching properly, make sure that they're not overselling people that really shouldn't do coaching. There's a certain group of people that are not ready for that next step and shouldn't do it at that time. And then there's a certain group of people that is. We're huge proponents of coaching because it is totally up-leveled our business in many, many ways. And we still invest a ton in coaching. And so we do feel that it's a service that people need. People need to be held accountable. They need that daily action step. They need all those things. But if you're not ready to fulfill on those things, or the coaches aren't doing their job and giving you what you need, then there's a problem. So he really spends an absorbent amount of energy working on that program to make sure that it's the best of the best. And I will say, sometimes things fall through the cracks, but when it does, we are on it like white on rice. I mean, we make sure that either that person is no longer with us, or that they're coached through that, and that never happens again. So it's rare, but full transparency, it can happen to anybody. And for the most part, the testimonials that have come out of that program way, way, way outperform any negativity whatsoever.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think you said it about Ray, but I think it's true of both of you guys, that you two are tireless proponents and cheerleaders and coaches of this whole profession. And a funny little story. So Ray was out at his house a little while ago, and Chiago Harvey, who's another one of your clients, he came up, and so we're talking to Ray, and he had just started intermittent fasting fairly recently, and he goes, the thing I'm worried about, the problem is I'm awake for those 18 or 19 hours a day. I'm awake for almost all of those hours. So it's a little different from the average person. And Chiago goes, "Oh, Well, I guess that makes sense how, like, I don't ever see you seem to sleep is because you don't actually sleep. So that's who you guys are for. And you do it because you care so much and you want to contribute at such a high level.
No.
And so our hats off to you guys. And it's just, it's great to have you in the spotlight because you're such an important part of this. And I think you aren't in the spotlight all on your own as often as you deserve.
So we got a minute and a half. I want you to talk about working with your husband, because everybody on this thing, the comments are coming in like crazy. It's so great to see husband and wife working together, loving each other, working so hard together. And it is not easy. I work with my wife and I know that it's not easy, but it's worth it. Talk about that for a minute or two, will you?
Yeah. So, Ray and I, during the day, we act like we are at work. So he goes in his office, I go in mine, and that's what works for us. During the day, we pretty much don't talk. Okay. And at night we come together and we meet, we talk about our day and everything. And that works for us. It might be different for you, but that works for us. And as far as like what we do in the business, we just filled in each other's gaps. So we found the holes. We literally had a meeting and said, what do we need to do to get to the next level? What do I love to do? What do you love to do? What don't we like to do? And we came together and kind of filled in those gaps. So clearly, I'll give you a quick example because I know we only have a minute. Clearly, he loves content creation. He does that every day. Our business is not lacking in content creation. So I do that when it's needed for women and things like that. But I work on a lot of the other things, the back end things, the things that people don't see. So it's just filling those holes and finding out what works.
Boy, that's unbelievable. All right. We're not going to end the show in a minute. So we're going to continue on after the break, but we do have to end the show on the radio and on the podcast.
Yep.
So you've been listening to the great Jessica Higdon. I pray that you will go to jessicahigdon.com, rayhigdon.com, rankmakers.com. I think they own them all. But the point is that these people are worth being involved with and following. Their hearts in this profession, their hearts in this business. They mean what they say. They do what they say they're going to do. They over deliver. It's just unbelievable. So please believe that. Anthony Napolitano next week. Thank you, Adrian. You're like a son to me. We'll see you all next week. And we're back.
We're back. That's pretty cool. That's a very similar story to a story I've heard you tell about division of.
Yeah, but so Denise and I did the same thing. Denise does exactly what she loves to do on my list, and she chose it. And then everything that I love to do that was on her list, I gave her. And then I did what I love to do. And then we made a job description also of everything we hate to do. And we gave that job to Marianne. She applied for the job
there
of
you
doing,
go.
put yourself on,
Marianne.
She chose the job of taking on what we hate to do. And it's worked out great because Marianne is completely fulfilled, loving what she's doing. Denise is loving what she's doing. And I get to be, now I'm in a whole different ball game with these guys in contact mapping, and they're having, they're having a tough time getting used to me because I am very unmanageable. We've only gone through one assistant for me. They hired a handler for me.
Handler, I like it.
I handled her. So it was over.
I have no doubt.
Well, it's just not fair.
Mr. Bedside Manner himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, there's a lot of, Oh, that's so funny. Another thing that happened. So, and she's watching right now, but I had a conversation. I did something rotten. So then Adrian told me I did something rotten. So I came in and I go, I cleaned it all up. It was unbelievable. So we sat down at the table. We had another meeting. All of a sudden, Adrian gets a call. His face is literally white. And I'm going, what's going on? He goes, I got to step out. So he goes out in the hall. He comes back in. And I go, what's going on? He goes, your apology did more damage than the actual act. Because I'm a terrible human being. I don't know. I'm just bad. But it worked out. Now I'm okay with her. I hope.
You're hard to stay mad at. That's probably your number one redeeming quality.
Well, cling to that. That's a good one.
And we love you and we love Ray. And I know you got to get back to work. And we've just thought it was incredible having you on. And, I don't like saying better half because you guys are equal. And there is so much to be gained from learning and following and being with you. And thank you, young lady. You're great. You want to say anything?
Thank you so much.
I really, really appreciate you guys having us on, and you're the best. You're absolute best. Everybody watching should tune into everything that you do because you are hilarious.
We love to laugh. We love to laugh. All right,
Yeah.
everybody be good. Thanks a lot for being on.
Thanks,
All
Jen.
right, you guys.
See you
Bye,
guys next
guys.
week.
See ya.
We need more women.